Minister, we mentioned about how our world is changing. How can I ensure that the skills that I learn in school don't become outdated by the time I graduate?
As mentioned earlier, we have to decide what is the domain that we are prepared to devote our energy to learn. Within that domain, be as versatile as you can. Once you go through that process of going deep, you have punched through layers and layers of soft skills, foundation skills that is useful wherever you go. If one day that domain becomes outdated and you find yourself having to go into another area, you have all the basic foundation skills to do it once again. I always like to tell the story of the Russian gymnast called Yelena Isinbayeva. She started off as a gymnast, a very good gymnast. But as she grew older and taller, she would become uncompetitive because you got to be a certain compact size. But the training allows her to build up her athleticism so that she reapply the skills and then she go into pole vault. And I believe she still holds the world record today. And so it's possible. Whatever you have learned, even if it's outdated, you can reapply it again and still do very well. Whatever you learn, never wasted.
Degrees, diplomas are for the current time, but gives you the foundational knowledge, but the specialized, the ongoing knowledge has to evolve because change is constant. Cycles are becoming shorter and shorter. So what you learn is a foundational program. Whatever you learn in your degree or diploma is foundational, but you have to continue to learn and upgrade yourself so they will remain relevant.
Just because things will change, what I learn may be outdated, therefore I don't learn and I don't specialize. I think that would be the biggest mistake.
But still to allay concerns, maybe Choon Shian can talk about how educational institutions update constantly.
We have to prepare Farisha, not just for 5 years, but 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. The journey is more important than the destination. So enjoy the journey.
Definitely enjoy the journey because I would say that in education system, I did not function as a model student and constantly being rejected by the system or my peers for my unconventional methods and standards actually helped me develop a thick skin, which probably definitely helped in entrepreneurship as well.
I think the institution can do so much. The learner needs to participate in the journey and not just cruise and expect people to take care of it.
The onus isn't just on the system.
What are we doing through SkillsFuture for people below 25?
We are so accustomed to government announcing something means it's a program. So we're all looking at SkillsFuture. And the only thing people caught hold of is the $500 SkillsFuture credit. The credit is one small part of the entire SkillsFuture movement. As a movement, this is the direction the economy has to move towards. SkillsFuture is for everybody.
Yes,
It starts the moment you start learning. The heart of SkillsFuture is our higher education system, giving students the choice, the different kinds of experience with internships, overseas internships, earn and learn programs, and really helping everyone to discover your area of interest. What are we moving towards? No more just learning in school. Beyond school, continue to learn till you are excellent at it.
But the $500, whether you are rich or poor, it gives you a shock factor because I wanted to learn an instrument. But the SkillsFuture credit becomes a catalyst. Government give you money, shock factor. I want to learn now.
So how would that make him a better contributor to Singapore economy?
We are not questioning that. We are giving everybody above 25 a $500 credit, and you decide what you want to learn.
Well, I know SkillsFuture is a long-term strategy, but do you think that it will be able to redefine meritocracy the way Singapore now defines it?
I certainly hope so. It's a progress of our society that we look at everyone with respect. Everyone try their best with an area of interest. They have to do a job, but within that job, they find joy. It's 敬业乐业 in Chinese. So now that you're doing it, I might as well like it, and I find joy in doing it. And as I do better, I like it more. And if everybody has attitude and respect each other for all that we have accomplished, and that broadening of meritocracy, I think will be good for our society.
Your interpretation of SkillsFuture, what does it mean to you?
SkillsFuture is an accolade to our Singapore government. Execution is going to be everything for it to succeed. They should not look at it and say, what is it in for me? But look at it holistically as a Singaporean and say that, how can I contribute to make lifelong learning a part of the common good of Singaporeans? And if everyone who is involved in that process does that, I think lifelong learning will be a success.
What are the underlying foundational things that make somebody effective in life, in work? I see people at very senior level in their career And if I look at the common things that got them there, I see 4 things prevailing. The first we've talked about, which is curiosity, not just about the world, but about yourself. The second is insight, which is the ability to see the things that are maybe non-obvious, to connect the dots in different ways that other people may do, to distill signal from noise. The third is ability to engage, get people to want to interact with you and to be able to persuade and influence. And lastly, it's just good old-fashioned resilience. So what I would add to the answers that already have been shared on this is that I think in one's learning journey in sort of formal education, it's very helpful if we keep in our minds always and ask ourselves the question, what am I doing that cultivate these 4 things? I see SkillsFuture as the potential to keep growing and to go to the very highest levels.
I think SkillsFuture is definitely moving in the right direction. I see a shift in consciousness between myself even and my peers. We don't really subscribe to you are a master of one thing, therefore this thing defines you. I feel that people are multidimensional. People are not defined by any one thing. And I like this abundance mindset. I feel that SkillsFuture is slightly anomalous for the government to be embracing this sort of mindset, because typically the way I would see something as, a classic citizen in the heartlands is a very linear form. But then now I can understand that SkillsFuture is really a mindset that we're trying to encourage, which is the same mindset that as an entrepreneur I must have. If not, we can't grow, we can't scale, we'll die before we've started. And I hope that when people understand SkillsFuture in this way, they can enrich their lives in a way that is beyond learning just for education, for qualifications, or even for an actual skill. It's an introspective process.
SkillsFuture for the individual is a choice, the journey of mastery, of pride, and with success. You need to learn all the time. Lifelong learning, you start learning when you're young. Collectively, the community will recognize such mastery and celebrate such learners.
SkillsFuture has an end goal that we should all work towards. As a student, it's definitely useful to be given a platform to explore all our options and decide on what we really love doing and work towards that. So I'm definitely for SkillsFuture.
Minister, what are your final thoughts?
When you think about education, it's not just about school, about the syllabus, passing the exams, but it is about the start of your lifelong journey of learning. And when you look at lifelong learning, it's no longer about taking a course so that you can find a job, but it is about building upon the foundation you already have through the education system, build upon it further until you have mastery. The SkillsFuture, it is a movement about lifelong learning, about skills mastery, and ultimately broadening the definition of meritocracy.
We are so often pressured by how society defines success and recognizes achievements, especially based on our academic grades, on the jobs we hold, or even the material things that we have. But the success stories of many that we've heard about who have taken different pathways show that skills, passion, and contributions count in big ways in fulfilling our aspirations. The discussion tonight clearly highlights the importance of fostering a culture of lifelong learning and innovation, starting with our schooling years through our working life and even way after. In fact, SkillsFuture is for all Singaporeans of all ages to develop our potential to the fullest throughout life. Thank you all so much for sharing your candid views and your suggestions. Thank you, Minister, for being here. Thank you.